Okay, so today is the 26th.
Mm-hmm.
So you had surgery on the 24th. So
I am a chipmunk.
you are a chipmunk. Although I feel like no one would really notice unless they knew you really well.
Or watch the previous two
Or
videos.
watch the previous two videos. Yeah, I'm curious to watch the other ones and see the difference in your face. But so how have things been going since surgery 2 days ago, and how are you feeling? All of that.
Puffed up.
Mm-hmm. When
But
did that start?
Started yesterday, I would say.
So a day after?
A day after. A couple of interesting things.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I had an episode of Vertigo.
Yeah, we partied hard on Friday night.
No, we did not. We slept all day, and I took a Vicodin. Now, this is just something interesting that, if anyone else is going on this journey, might be good to know about. Anytime you have trauma to the face, which this is, surgery, there's a chance, especially if you're predisposed to it, that you might have vertigo. Emailed my doctor, he said that can happen on occasion.
And what does vertigo feel like for those who've not?
It's the worst thing ever.
Excellent.
For me. Well, it just feels, it's very, very sudden. And I think that's the scariest part, is that you never know when it's going to hit. You might just be on the bed, like, looking from the right and just, like, turning to the left side. And then in a split second, the entire room starts to spin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your world starts to rotate quickly. So you lose all sense of orientation, balance, stability, and it's terrifying. It only happened for a couple of seconds for me. It happened like twice.
Yeah, in pretty quick succession, right?
Yeah.
It's like once, and then a couple minutes later it happened again.
Yeah. And it always happens during a change of position. So what this is called BPPV. Really fun saying those letters. Benign positional paroxysmal vertigo. So the common theory is that your vestibulocochlear channel, the inner ear, there's a membrane in there that has all these small calcium crystals attached to the wall of the membrane. And every time you move the calcium crystals slightly, they're floating in liquid inside the membrane, so they slightly move. And that movement signals or sends electrical signals to the brain to inform your position in the spatial dimensions. So that's how you're able to move. Now, what can happen with trauma, or just if, with elderly people, it's one of those calcium crystals can break off from the wall and start freely floating in the membrane. But they're still sending signals to the brain. So now they're just freely floating without any input. You're not moving, yet that's moving through the channel. Which essentially, the movement of this crystal is the sensation of the world spinning. Because it's sending the signal that you're like doing cartwheels, but you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a background on BPPV. The go-to treatment for that is something called the Epley maneuver. You can look it up. There's many YouTube videos on it. But what you want to do is you want to guide that free-floating crystal into a specific area of the vestibular, the membrane. It's near the bottom. If you visualize like a pea pod, you want to guide it from the top or wherever it is all the way to the bottom where there's a receptacle for it that breaks it down and gets rid of it. And so the Epley maneuver is a sequence of movements that you can do that, and I'm getting to look it up, but it helps to do with a partner. Kind of like go backwards, you turn your head in a sequence of directions, and then you essentially like guide it to that area, and then you're good. So that's what we did. Yes. The help of Melinda over here.
Yes.
And
it's important to note that doing this will trigger the vertigo.
Yes. So you're intentionally triggering it.
Yeah.
Because you're making it move in a formation down to the the receptacle. So it might be really uncomfortable doing it, but it treats it.
Yeah.
So I haven't had it since.
Yeah, and we tried it again last night, and you didn't have any reaction to it. It didn't trigger the vertigo, so that means that it worked the first time.
Yeah, so a good test is just to do it again and see if you have vertigo. And if you don't, you got rid of it.
Yeah, and this is what, I mean, you knew about this before because you've already experienced vertigo before and have done it, but this is, you emailed Dr. Lee, and he also mentioned that that was how to treat this, right?
He emailed back after I did the maneuver that, hey, you can do the Zeppeli maneuver. And I was like, great, just did it.
And he said it was normal for the surgery, and it could be caused by anything from, like, you know, the Vicodin, narcotic, or it could be caused by the surgery itself.
Yeah.
You just don't really know.
Yeah, so that's a heads up. It was, hopefully that was the end of it. It's transient. I don't expect it to come back. Other than that, just the usual, like, pain, which migrates from like a 3 out of 10 to like maybe 7. But it's manageable with Advil.
Yeah.
Right now it feels fine, but
you're taking the Advil like every 6 hours or so.
Yeah, 3 Advil.
Yeah, but you stopped taking the Vicodin. After
I did.
You only took it the one time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be fine, but why risk having another like potential association with vertigo?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm just puffy, so just sitting here with like these big old cheeks.
And how has eating been? Like, have you been able to eat more different kinds of food since the first day, or how does that feel when you're eating?
It feels better. I think the strangest part is navigating around the bar, my mouth. Food wants to, that's where, you know, it's placed where your normal swallow pattern is, right? So there's a roof of your mouth. Your tongue does this motion to swallow. This is your tongue. It kind of presses up against it.
Yeah.
Now here's a bar right there, so you can't. It's blocked.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to just like partial swallow and hope it goes in. But sometimes the food gets stuck above the bar. And then, but it's not too bad if you just drink water or wash it down with water afterwards. It'll clear that area.
Yeah.
But it is annoying. But manageable.
Yeah.
And I've been able to eat like chicken and harder foods a little bit. Nothing like sandwiches yet, but soft rice and chicken.
Yeah. Lots of Indian food. We're in like the
Little
India capital of the world.
We're in Palo Alto.
Yeah.
So legitimate Hyderabadi dum biryani going on over here.
Right.
Okay, are we ready for this?
I got it. Zooming in. Oh, he's holding it with the hand. Oh.
Look at that steam rising.
Oh my god. Yes. It's been lovely.
I cannot complain. I've been having mango lassi and chicken tikka masala
Yeah.
every night. So
Yeah. Very friendly for this type of thing.
Couldn't ask for a better location.
Yes. Nice. And then you have your follow-up visit tomorrow with Dr. Lee.
First one.
And he's going to teach you how to turn it with the key, actually, with the device.
He'll check on everything, make sure it looks good, and then he'll first turn it himself, the key, and then he'll teach me how to use it to manually turn it at home, so that I can widen this TPD over the next 3 to 6 months.
Nice.
And yeah, that's it.
Nice. And what do you plan to do for the rest of today?
Sit here, drink coffee, maybe go on a walk. It's perfectly pleasant today.
It's really nice out.
It's like 70 degrees.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else you want to mention, or any other surprises that have happened, like in this stage?
Well, I mean, just a general disclaimer. It's, when you get this in, it's going to be worse before it gets better. Yeah. Day 1 was actually better than today.
Yeah.
As you get puffy, your nose gets congested, so you can't breathe at night. My sleep is not worse than it's ever been, but you have to expect that.
Yeah.
You have a rod in your skull now, so your body's adjusting to this.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not surprised, but just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Good call. Good disclaimer. All right. Well, have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the next one.